Educational Institute. DI offers value and work experience-based courses in arts and humanities, sciences and engineering, and commerce, and runs programs from nursery to postdoctoral research with skilling and consciousness studies being important pillars. In short, Dayalbagh focuses both on Pravidya and Apravidya. May I now most humbly request most revered Professor Prem Saran Sangi Sahab to guide and bless us with his ambrosial words on this occasion of inaugural global webinar of Speecha. Sir.
Thank you for this opportunity to express some of our thoughts on behalf of Dayalbagh Educational Institute, deemed to be university, as well as its sponsoring body, Radhasoami Satsang Sabha, whose basic purpose is to render selfless service to humanity to begin with, and then all living beings thereafter. I would like to mention in particular that there were encouraging trends of late among Nobel Prize winners to be guided by innovative ideas which would provide qualities and values to serve the entire humanity. I'm basing it on topological graph theory, which is a mathematical abstraction. All along in India, in the days of the glory of Nalanda and Patliputra as their educational centers known worldwide at that stage. We are continuing this trend and engaging institutes, particularly those which have cooperative system of education. Education and practice go hand in hand. Let me make a brief remark that nature is unordered. It means that there's infinite variety that nature possesses. And unless we rise to the occasion of having more than infinite variety, the nature cannot be rendered to serve the cause of the entire creation. You see, there's a law of requisite variety, which says that we want to exercise control over nature, we must have requisite variety which is at least equal to that of nature. This is, however, available in all our religious traditions, ranging from Gita all the way up to various religions of the world, and finally giving a solution through the framework of spirituality, which in mathematical abstraction, in the macrocosm in which we live is not possible to be controlled within a time frame other than infinity. However, there is a microcosm. We live in the macrocosm and we want to control the macrocosm, which is infinite variety. So it's not going to work out so soon. Our scientists are now heading towards this aspect of discovering that besides photon, as we say, we'll see the light of the day, there is a phonon, which is what sound represents. So sound is strangely believed by the various religions in India at least to be at the forefront, and this inner sound, or what we might call as ultra transcendental meditation generated sound, is the one which will give us a mastery over the macrocosm. So this is microcosmic based development that we should practice and follow. As I said, luckily the trends these days, as we learn from the various websites all over the world, is to develop higher and higher variety. And people are basing it on phonons. Photons were the medium for the travel of light, which traveled at the fastest speed which could not be matched. That is what the macrocosm believes in. But phonons can travel faster. These are having infinite speed. And at the deepest level that we comprehend, phonons will be the one which will give control over photons. So we'll have both the light as well as sound. And in fact, it's the sound which is the creator of the whole world or universe. And that supremacy is now being experienced by the people who are at the apex of the macrocosmic world. And this is the good point about it. Microcosm is a closed system. And it has, in terms of Radhasoami philosophy, three big universes within it. It's the universe of matter, universe of mind, and beyond that, universe of spirit. What scientists still hesitate to refer to as spirit, they call it pure thought or purer mind or purest thought and mind. But that doesn't matter, that is the initial reluctance. But as I said, now we see every day a report at one place or the other that phonons and photons go together. They have now recognized that phonons also, the speed of sound, inner sound, or celestial sound, is as large as that of light, but it in fact outstrips light. So that is the crux of it, that we must avail of the traditions which are which we have received as heritage from our society, which we consider as Aryan ones, and therefore we want to build a land which takes care of the health care of the inhabitants, rather than become bogged down with this mobile, smart, and resilient modern city and universe. So our aim is to base it for providing healthy environment, even in terms of various kinds of pollution, which are posing challenges of even eliminating the entire creation. So that is the thought which I like to leave with you, that is the phonons and not the photons, but both together, which illuminate the inner microcosm. Macrocosm, as I said before, is having infinite variety. Nature is uncontrolled. There's a in applied systems analysis that I pursue as uh, also motivated by the International Applied Systems Analysis, International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. This is the term that we picked up, and in IIT Delhi, I was able to introduce this by uh, providing a foundation for innovation and technology transfer, FIT as an acronym. So in order to keep fit in the healthcare system sense, you need to pursue this sort of cooperative education for the students. So we concentrate on the learners in the society and give them awareness. And this is not just religion. It is based on the abstraction and mathematics of topological graph theory. And graphene has come up as a material which would provide clues to the black hole. So every day we now see something or the other cropping up, that they are getting more and more information about the black hole. The Big Bang theory, which scientists have been propounding, Einstein's general theory of relativity, is being reconciled to quantum mechanics. Einstein was not able to accept the quantum theory as being consistent with his general theory of relativity. But in this post-Einsteinian era, this is now coming up that there are phonons which move, that is sound currents, which move at same speed as the light. So we have now the potential for controlling the nature and having a society based on ideal healthcare habitat, rather than modern city based on mobility, smartness, and uh, its sensitivity, or what we call uh, the way to be resilient. So rather than being mobile and intelligent and resilient, we would base it for healthcare habitat for all time to come. And as I said, this is not just religious stuff. This is a recognized topological graph theory with which this has been demonstrated in a number of applications all over the world. So I leave you with this thought that religion and science are also not opposite to each other. They are in fact the ones which offer the only possibility of getting control over the uncontrolled nature, with which we face the hell-like condition of the so-called nether pole, which would be then a Nark, where the temperatures will be so high that people will burn out. Nobody can survive that. So that is a scientific fact which had been bothering people. But as I said, there are mathematical theories. It's not just pure religion, religious talk. And all our religions in the world, take Christianity, take Islam, take Buddhism, take Jainism, they are all providing for steps leading to the ultimate microcosmic apex, which is possessing 21 degrees of freedom, which is adequate for taking care of the worst disasters which nature is perpetrating on the entire creation. As I said, there's grand division of matter, grand division of mind, and beyond it, the grand division of spirit. Finally, everything would be back to grand division of spirit. That is, we will all be in the form of the pointed loops. That is, will be loops which exist as a point, as an infinitesimal um, uh, particle. So both wave formation, which is what quantum theory predicts, wave-like behavior, as well as the behavior as a point source is going to meet together. There are encouraging trends, and I'm therefore an optimist that the world will soon be able to get better of the nature and control it through these techniques which lie not only in religious traditions of Aryans like we in India, but throughout China and others also are part of it. Japan, where uh, the uh, trains which move at very fast level excited our Prime Minister to introduce such features here. But our economy is in shambles here. That part had not been taken into account. While the economy that we project is thriving just as it did in the earlier days. We have about 1,200 acres of agricultural farm, and we have a dairy based on this. And with these two, we are able to provide the healthcare practices that will sustain human life. Already, the people in Dayalbagh live up to 90s years of age or 100 years of age, as visualized by the four stages of youth and adulthood, then vanprasthashram, and then sannyas. So this was our earlier tradition that all lives through. But we say that we need to balance the two. So if we invoke our inner power within ourselves, we find that it's a closed system. It just requires 21 degrees of freedom, not infinite degrees of freedom, but it exercises control over infinite degrees of freedom because the mathematics will tell us so that it does possess those infinite degrees of freedom. So that's a hopeful message which I want to leave with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Gracious blessings and guidance and all the hope that we get, sir. And so aptly, sir, you have explained the importance of phonons as well, of course, photons which are being expected, and how we can explore macrocosm through the microcosm processes. You have also so kindly explained the entire creational structure, which really talking about the three grand divisions of creation, And there is no conflict between science and religion. That has been so aptly brought out, sir, by you. And of course, the sustainable healthcare system that we follow and that can be followed by others. And of course, by invoking the inner power, one can explore and resolve a lot of issues that we are facing around ourselves. Thank you very much indeed, sir, from the bottoms of our hearts.
If I may just once again request our director to give a very brief account of the educational system we have,
Sir.
with the remark that all through this period, we have had no disruption in our academic program. All along, our academic programs, making use of virtual reality, have been given to the students. Not only this, we have organized these as supervised virtual reality, so that the bad effects on children of watching blue movies and such things can be prevented. So the ill effects are taken care of by having supervised virtual reality as the mode for not only communication, but entire operations of the macrocosm. And the education is the important feature which will build a system which is robust to take care of such eventualities. So, Director D, I might like to